This is Ireland's own fault. They've been too successful.
Yeah.
They've turned, especially as in results, that's an extraordinary result, and they've turned, winning an extraordinary game like that into banal because of the success they've had over the last 2 years. 17, 18 wins into that World Cup, losing to New Zealand team in the World Cup. Yeah, disappointing, but it's still New Zealand in a historical context. It's not the end of the world. They've come out the other end of. I felt they were extremely comfortable yesterday through the whole game. That's the feeling I had. I was never stressed out, and you're always stressed out in games against France, particularly away. And then it also felt incredibly professional, and some of the issues that they'd had in the lead up to the World Cup and in the World Cup were addressed. You have to give them massive kudos for that. Listen, there is, where are France on this? They haven't dealt with the trauma of the World Cup clearly in the same way that Ireland have. Dupont they haven't been able to replace him, and the talisman that he is has obviously had a bigger effect on him, on their team, than the loss of Sexton as our talisman has on us. But this is a product, and maybe we weren't as excited as we would be, 5 years ago on a result like this. And it's because of the extraordinary high level this team is playing at and the success they've had. And that's, they can't do anything about that. Our expectations are raised. Their expectations are raised in themselves. And that's why they're not doing a lap of honour, going around screaming and shouting like it's the end of the world, because these are commonplace now, it seems.
It doesn't mean as much as well, because going forward, if that had happened, it did happen a year ago, the home game, one of the best rugby games we've ever seen, and we're starting to think we have a chance of winning a World Cup. So the World Cup is on the horizon now. We're going, well, we've been there, we've had the excitement, and now we're, there's nothing really to get excited about. We get excited about Tour to South Africa, and that's the next big challenge. But we'll win another Grand Slam.
But
we've won plenty of those.
Does that mean Grand Slams won't excite us as much anymore? Are we a nation now that are just about the World Cup?
We're an entitled rugby nation.
But that's a really good point, because our expectations were elevated. No matter what you say, like I'm not sure I ever thought Ireland were going to win the World Cup, but we thought like we had a really live chance. And then when that's your expectation, it's actually hard, and that isn't achieved. Then it's hard to drift back to, this is it's a really good result in a really important competition. But it's a competition that was won last year. So we actually have to cop on a little bit as well, because we're in like this belle epoch of Irish rugby, and it mightn't happen. We've had a sustained period of really long success. It's not inconceivable that look at how Wales are now, after how they've been in the last 2 decades, which has been it's a huge number of Grand Slams and championships. You can turn the corner pretty quickly on this, and you get very entitled, as you said. And it's another 4 years to a World Cup. We can't put everything in the context of a World Cup for the next 4 years. That's a nonsense as well. I think we have to be, to use the current rugby player terminology, we have to be, focused in the now and this moment as well, and understand that this is an exceptional team. We're very lucky to have them playing the way they're playing.
Yes, so just to be enjoyed, I think, is the short version.